Manhattan Da wants gag order for Trump, seeks to play Access Hollywood tape at Hoshmani trial. Hello dear, welcome to my Allison News channel. On my channel you will find viral update news. New York, AP prosecutors in Donald Trump's New York Hoshmani criminal case asked a judge Monday to impose a gag order on the former president ahead of next month's trial, citing what they called his long history of making public and inflammatory remarks about people involved in his legal cases. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is asking for what it described as a narrowly tailored order that would bar Trump from making or directing others to make public statements about potential witnesses and jurors, as well as statements meant to interfere with or harass the court staff, prosecution team, or their families. The District Attorney's Office is also seeking approval to show jurors the infamous Access Hollywood video, made public in the final weeks of Trump's 2016 White House campaign, in which he bragged about grabbing women's genitals without asking for permission. Prosecutors contend the release of the 2005 footage, followed by a flurry of women coming forward to accuse Trump of sexual assault, hastened his efforts to keep negative stories out of the press, leading to one of the Hoshmani arrangements at the heart of the case. Trump's lawyers wrote in court papers Monday that the Access Hollywood video contains inflammatory and unduly prejudicial evidence that has no place at this trial about documents and accounting practices. The judge, Juan Manuel Merchan, didn't rule immediately on the requests. Jury selection is scheduled to start 25th March. Barring a last-minute delay, it will be the first of Trump's 4 criminal cases to go to trial. Imposing a gag order on Trump would add to restrictions put in place after his arraignment last April that prohibit him from using evidence in the case to attack witnesses. Prosecutors are also proposing that the names of jurors be kept from the public to minimize obstacles to jury selection and protect juror safety. Without limits, prosecutors said, Trump's rhetoric would create a significant and imminent threat to the trial by distracting personnel, diverting government resources, and delaying the administration of justice. A spokesperson for Trump's presidential campaign called the gag order request election interference pure and simple and called the Hoshmani case a sham orchestrated by partisan Democrats desperately attempting to prevent Trump from returning to the White House. Trump lawyer Susan Necheles said the defense will respond in court papers later this week. The Manhattan case centers on allegations that Trump falsified internal records kept by his company to hide the true nature of payments made to his former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen. The lawyer paid porn actor Stormy Daniels $130,000 as part of an effort during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign to bury claims he'd had extramarital sexual encounters. Trump is charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records, a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison, though there is no guarantee that a conviction would result in jail time. Trump, the Republican presidential frontrunner, has lashed out about the case repeatedly on social media, warning of potential death and destruction before his indictment last year, posting a photo on social media of himself holding a baseball bat next to a picture of District Attorney Alvin Bragg and complaining that the judge Merchan is a Trump-hating judge with a family full of Trump haters. Trump is already under a similar gag order in his Washington, D.C. election interference criminal case and was fined $15,000 for twice violating a gag order imposed in his New York civil fraud trial after he made a disparaging social media post about the judge's chief law clerk. In January, a Manhattan federal judge threatened Trump with expulsion from court in a civil trial on writer E. Jean Carroll's defamation claims against him after he was heard saying it is a witch hunt and it really is a con job. Self-regulation is not a viable alternative, as defendants' recent history makes plain, prosecutors wrote in court papers. Trump, they said, has a long-standing and perhaps singular history of using social media, campaign speeches, and other public statements to attack judges, jurors, lawyers, witnesses and other individuals involved in legal proceedings against him. In a statement, Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chang said, Today, the two-tiered system of justice implemented against President Trump is on full display, with the request by another deranged Democrat prosecutor seeking a restrictive gag order, which if granted, would impose an unconstitutional infringement on President Trump's First Amendment rights, including his ability to defend himself, and the rights of all Americans to hear from President Trump. The requested gag order would not bar Trump from commenting about Bragg, an elected Democrat. Still, prosecutors contend that Trump's enmity for Bragg, including Truth Social posts calling Manhattan's first black DA a degenerate psychopath who hates the USA, has led to a spike in threats against the prosecutor and the district attorney's office. Last year, examiners said, police recorded 89 dangers to Bragg, his family or staff, up from simply a solitary danger in 2022, his most memorable year in office. The influx of dangers began Walk 18, as per a sworn statement by the top of Bragg's police detail, the day Trump dishonestly posted internet-based that he was going to be captured and urged allies to dissent and take our country back. A couple of days after the fact, examiners noticed Bragg's office got a letter containing a limited quantity of white powder and a note expressing, "Alvin, I will kill you." Trump has alluded to a critical observer for the situation, his previous legal counselor Cohen, as an indicted criminal, disbarred legal counselor, with zero validity, and has made posts taunting Daniels. The gag request demand Monday reflected bits of a request forced on Trump in October in his different Washington government case, where he is accused of plotting to upset the consequences of his 2020 political decision misfortune to popularity-based rival Joe Biden. A government requests court board in December generally maintained Judge Tanya Chutkan's gag request, yet restricted it in a significant manner by liberating Trump to scrutinize extraordinary direction Jack Smith, who brought the case. Manhattan investigators repeated that decision by barring Bragg from their proposed gag request. Last May, Merchant gave what's known as a defensive request, cautioning Trump and his legal counselors they gambled being reprimanded in the event that they dispersed proof from the Quiet Cash case to outsiders, utilized it to go after witnesses, or presented delicate material via web-based entertainment. Merchant, taking note of Trump's extraordinary status as a previous president and current competitor, attempted to clarify at the time that the defensive request ought not be understood as a gag request, saying, "It's unquestionably not my expectation to at all block Mr. Trump's capacity to lobby for the administration of the U.S.